Alright, we've got our second replay review of Fearless Prince, amazing RNG for the 2015 mentoring program. I'm your host, Festive Longjohns. Let me fix this camera real quick. This is a bug that drives me crazy. Give me 1 second. Alright, there we go, we're back. So, today we've got Fearless Prince playing as the Austere with the same commander loadout as before. And we've got Ramstein as OKW playing with all vanilla commanders except for Elite Armored, which has the terrifying Sturmtiger, the recently buffed Sturmtiger. The thing's a monster. It's super derpy and hilarious and fun. I like that unit. We've got double U.S. forces for the Allies, and we've got a commander pick right off the bat, infantry company. Ramstein is playing in the all-important southeastern points of this map. This house is key. You definitely want to control this house. It's more important for the southern player to hold defensively. Kubel opening from the OKW player, and from our man Fearless, we've got a solid typical austere start with the MG and the Grenadier. One thing to keep in mind when you're playing Rails and Metal, oftentimes Axis players will double this right side here, and they will just throw their first several units down here to try and control the fuel. And your partner is allowed just about the worst thing he could to happen. He's ceded control of this building to a rifleman. But if he's smart, he will move his Stern Pioneers right here because there is only one window, and the Stern Pioneers will wreck this rifle squad from right here. The Stern Pioneers actually can sit here all day and clear that building out. The only reason I'm not covering anything up here yet is because there's nothing going on, just the typical capping. It's a long walk for, it's a long retreat to get back up to that point. So you look at that. Just do so much damage and they just take none because there's only one window right there. It's really solid. This Kubel might get flanked, but it should have no problem dealing with the rear echelons. And then we've got some back capping here, which you guys actually haven't been connected to the fuel yet. There we go. Now we're connected. Making a push for the northern fuel is a good call. The second rifle squad is right there. This is a pretty good engagement for your Grenadiers. You should probably either move your MG up or try and bait the rifleman into it. There you go. And now you see the second rifle squad, so you should be manually targeting that as soon as he gets into the cone. That was a little late. Now you should repack the MG because he's already flanked you. He's got more units on the way. You've got some support coming as well. If you position this MG correctly, you will easily win this engagement. You need to retreat that ground squad. It's too risky to keep them around, I think. And yeah, stick those Pioneers in the trench. Yeah, won that engagement easily. This is some decent pressure being applied here. That's good play. It's forced a reaction from the other American player so that your ally doesn't get doubled up in the south. And now you've got an MG covering this whole swath of land, and that's exactly what you want to do as Austere. Position your MG where it's got the most open field coverage. This rifle squad is bleeding. You're definitely trading cost effectively. You should be targeting the rear echelons here manually because they take tons of damage when they're building, and you could have probably wiped them before you got done building that. Now you're going to have to micro a little bit to dodge these rifle nades, which you do nicely. And at this point, against Americans, if you see grenades, you know you've got a little bit more time to deal with an early vehicle. They do cost 25 fuel, but if you don't see grenades, you need to be thinking about teching very soon. As Austere, okay, that's too, in my opinion, that's too early for a medic bunker. You should be prioritizing getting tier 2 out and getting either a scout car or a pack before you get your healing bunker, because once he gets a vehicle on the field, it won't matter if you've got heals. You should see the fighting position being upgraded right now, which should cue you to probably get out of the way. As soon as that's up, you're going to get suppressed pretty quickly. Okay, actually, you can go the other way. We walk right into that, now you have to retreat. So, you're probably going to have to retreat that anyway. Once you saw that fighting position upgrade, it would have been a good idea to just back off and play it slow in this trench right here. There's lots of good places to engage. Another bunker. A lot of munitions being spent on a bunker that is stationary. I'm not a huge fan of MG bunkers. I think if you place them defensively, they can be good. If you use them as a fallback point, they can be good. But an aggressive MG bunker this early in the game, in my opinion, costs too much manpower. The U.S. Forces player was a little late to get his lieutenant out. He's floated 35 fuel before he got it out. Did he just tech grenades? Okay, so he has lieutenant and grenades. But, yeah, so you've seen the grenades. At this point, though, you should be expecting a vehicle anyway, because it's 6 minutes into the game. I would probably be thinking captain from this guy, because I hadn't seen the lieutenant yet. But, you know, when you see the lieutenant, you should probably be thanking yourself. You should probably be thinking, like, okay, good. All I have to deal with is an M20 or a half-track rather than a Stewart. I think going lieutenant and going infantry company is not ideal. It's not the way to go. Also, smoking an MG that you're going to have to retreat from anyway is not a good use of resources. I guess he's just using it to screen for that rifle. He's teched bars as well, so no, he's not going with an early vehicle. You've now seen bars, lieutenant, and grenades. So he's going heavy on the early infantry play, which means I would get another MG. So yeah, at this point you're getting a pack. That's a decent call. It's I mean, you're playing double Americans. It's always a good idea to have a pack, but I would get another MG for sure. Because one MG is fairly easy to deal with smoke and grenades. You can force it to reposition. But if you have a second MG behind it, you can really make it hard for the allied player to deal with. Your ally seems to be doing okay in the south. Nice rifle grenade. That's pretty big. What did you wipe there? Must have been a rifle squad? Yeah, it was one of his rifle squads. So, interesting call on the U.S. mortar half-track. I could see it. Going all this heavy infantry play would encourage your opponent to get an MG, and then you just get a half-track to counter the other MG. So, not bad. You guys are in a good spot right now. Your ally is getting forced out by the A half-track, but he's already got the Puma. So, that's going to be an easy win for him. One more shot and it's going to go down. He's going to get 18-aided, but it's not a big deal. He can just fall back and repair at his repair station. So you guys are in a commanding position right now. The territory lost should be regained pretty easily. I would have also... The mortar's a decent choice, but against... I don't know, against a bunch of rifles, it's... I would have got another MG first, to be honest. But he already... Yeah, he's mortaring here. This is why I'm not a fan of mortar bunkers, or MG bunkers, because they're so easy to deal with. They work against players who aren't as skilled. Oh, that was unlucky. One thing I can note is don't rage when you get squad wipes like that. Like, that was just unlucky. There's nothing you can do about it. Get over it and move on. Getting frustrated by RNG elements is only going to make you play worse, especially in a game like COH. So it's going to make you stressed out, and it's going to limit your ability to think and focus and actually be able to micro. So I'm not sure. I haven't played with you a ton, so I don't know you know, how much that affects you, but I know it affects most people, and the less you let it affect you, nice rifle nade, the less you let it affect you, the better off you'll be. One thing I learned recently, a little tip from Cruise's The More You Know thread, um, grenades deal damage based on the direction that they came from. So in that case, you were firing at a rifle squad that was behind green cover here. That grenade's only going to do 50% damage, so it's not going to wipe nearly as many models. However, if you were firing the grenade from over here and the squad was right here, it would have done max damage. So even though they had the green covered little icon there, they still would have done maximum damage because of the direction that it came from. The projectile is actually calculated by like that specifically. So your allies should be able to get this back, and if you can't get it back, you should start thinking about going and helping him out. Even if you just do something like move a mortar over here, give him a little bit of indirect fire, because right now your mortar's not doing a lot, and it might be actually it's dealing with this MG pretty well. When I'm playing rails and metal, unless I'm playing allies from the south, I don't try and pressure this area too much. I think it's better to play the middle. That way you can support your ally over here and help maintain control of the fuel, and you can also still control this VP. Because by playing up here, you're not really able to pressure his fuel unless you just straight up outplay him. It's a lot harder for the Axis to actually push this far up and pressure this fuel, so all you're really getting out of it is this VP, which you could basically effectively control the same thing by, you know, playing the middle, controlling this VP. Then you can pressure those munis pretty easily, and you can also help aid your allies. So just a little preference for me. It can work, but I think it's just a little bit better to play the mid as ally or as Axis.
We lost a gun crew.
Now I see that your ally has gone. The Jag Tiger, always good on this map. That thing is just a beast on this map. It's going to allow you to basically do whatever you want. You don't necessarily have to go elephant. This map is so long and narrow. Units like the Jag Panzer and the Jag Tiger are really strong. Stugs with spotting scopes are excellent on this map. Spotting scopes in general are excellent on this map. Considering you've seen the mortar half-track already, the PaK-43 commander might not be the best call. See right there, that grenade would have done way more damage if you were out in the open. You need to retreat that MG. It's pretty risky there without anything to reinforce. You might end up paying off. Yeah, so that's really risky. Run, run, run. Got pretty lucky there.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Your allies getting pressured here pretty hard, and you've been forced off of the VP here, so at this point you should just regroup to the middle. Protect your flank with an MG here, and just try and control this VP, and try and support your ally as much as possible from cover like here and here. And if you start making some progress here. Another thing to consider, I'm a huge fan of the austere half-track in team games. I talked about this in your last game, but this is so far to run every time you have to retreat. If you can get good at soft retreating and just backing off engagements that you're not going to win and keep your half-track back here, you can reinforce and be on the field a lot quicker. And you don't have to spend so much time just running back and forth. It's kind of challenging and a little bit tricky to get used to, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion. On some maps, it depends on the map, but yeah, so at this point you guys need to get back your fuel. You need to help your ally out. It doesn't, pushing up here, it's just going to overextend you, especially against Americans. Like, if they were playing well together and they noticed you pushing all the way up here, if his ally came through with a bunch of riflemen through this avenue here and flanked your MG, like if you lost an MG at this stage of the game, it would be not fun. Second MG, that's good. You should be thinking about your first vehicle. You haven't seen really any vehicles from the American player, and you've seen Lieutenant. So the fact that he hasn't gone captain means he's probably gone major. Which means you need to be worried about a Sherman soon. I think a P4 all around is just pretty solid, but a Sturg is probably going to be a good call as well. You've got the you've got the field for a P4, so that's a good call. He actually did just back teched a oh, that's the other guy.
Contact! Get down! Grenade!
Lots of rifle nades. Pardon my nostrils. I'm a bit congested. Got a bit of an infection. Not feeling the best. But anyway, huge, a lot of infantry from your ally here. these Fusiliers are gonna win. Double G43s are nasty, even though that they're in green cover. All these grins. Well, White Phosphorus Barrage is pretty nasty. Kubel getting ballsy trying to suppress a rifle squad with a bazooka. Nice overlapping MGs here. This is a solid position. Wow, direct hit from that mortar half-track. That mortar half-track is doing some work. 11 kills already. P4 on the field. This is where you start making progress. You want to play it slow. You don't want to overextend with it. That's good. You're not just going balls deep. Flamer's in a good position to start wiping models on these low health squads. Look at all those crits, but oh, stuck around just a little too long, and then there was the accidental retreat. Trying to retreat the Pioneers just as they die, and retreating that Grand Squad. I've done that so many times. So at this point, yeah, I would push with your ally. Your ally's got all the infantry on the field. You've got the medium armor. You guys should push together to try and take control of the middle of the map here. We do have a Jackson on the field, so that's going to be something that you're going to have to play cautiously. Jackson's going to 3-shot the P4. Honestly, man, at this point, I think Joint Ops is going to be the way to go. Joint Ops or close air support are the two go-tos, in my opinion. This commander is so niche, it's so hard to use. It's fun to use in team games like 3v3s and 4v4s, but I think in 2v2s it's pretty challenging. This is a pretty good setup here. You've got your MGs well positioned and the pack well positioned to cover for the P4. P4 pushes them off. You should be going for a triple cap now, which it looks like you are. You've got that MG flanked. And the Jackson is still just kind of fucking around. You should be able to wipe that MG. And if you have a Pioneer squad nearby, it would be worth stealing. Jackson's still just idling. White Phosphorus being used to good effect. It's doing a lot of health damage to your Grenadiers. Again, I think a half-track would be perfect for all of this. You got 2 MGs, a pack, and a mortar. A half-track's going to keep them on the field. It's going to keep them healthy. It's going to keep them from getting forced off by that mortar half-track. You just have to play carefully around the Jackson and keep it alive. But I'm a big fan of that half-track. So you've got him triple cap now, but it looks like that's going to be gone here in a second. JP4 is a good choice on this map. And moving the pack up to deal with the Jackson, that's well played. And a second P4 on the field. I think that's a fine call. I think after that P4 I would go with the Stug and try and get it Vent 1 because target weak point is just about the strongest ability in the game. It's the best vehicle snare you can get. It's so good. Your allies can like consistently forced off the field by these rifle swarms. I think an MG over here would have aided your ally a lot. Just something to suppress these rifles, because right now they're kind of doing what they want. Is that a priest? Yeah, we've got a priest on the field. Another reason to get a half track.
Howitzer on station and ready for action.
And Event Horizon has gone rifle company, so we're gonna have easy 8s in our lives soon. Oh, that scatter shot! That almost hit the Jackson. Got to be careful though. That P4 is really low. Yep. I'm also a huge fan of any commander that has smoke. Smoke is so valuable. Okay, so we've gone close air support. Not a bad choice. It's awfully effective against things like priests. They're really slow and they can be, you know, it's easy for players to sleep on them and lose track of them. You guys are playing basically 2 separate 1v1s right now. I think whoever decides to push with their ally is going to basically make the difference in the game. Because you're so far apart. All it would take is for you to push in with both of these P4s. Granted, without getting, you know, nailed by the Jackson, but I think just I'd like to see more team play. It's okay to play 2 1v1s, but take advantage of the fact that, like, read your opponent. You know, if you both have been playing in the north so far and everybody's kind of cozy with the setup, it can be really surprising, and you can really catch somebody off guard if you, you know, if you push outside of that. That's an obvious grenade. If you see a rifleman charging up to an MG like that with a grenadier squad nearby, he's obviously trying to throw a grenade. That should be a key. Like, you should see that early and move your MG beforehand. Okay, so that pack is easily going to deal with that Jackson if you push up with the P4. You just need one more shot from either. Oh, that was a lucky shot. So yeah, like if you had a half track over here, you could just reinforce that pack and keep it healthy. Close air support's gonna be fine because you'll be able to get a couple strikes and you'll be able to deal. You can just push off the Jackson and the priest. He doesn't have any real armor, like any real armor that can hurt infantry. So strikes are gonna be great at dealing with that. Close air support is gonna allow you to help your ally out a whole bunch though. This guy's going to try and wipe these rifles, I think. That's the only reason why he would be pushing up that far. He's kind of just pushing up into the ally suppression. Not the best use of Fusiliers there. You're still doing a nice job of controlling VPs. That's pretty much what's giving you guys the advantage right now. Your ally is going to try and triple cap again. He's probably going to get pushed off. He might get a decap, but I don't know. Not really worth it in my opinion. I would just retreat. I mean, you get a decap for a second, but you're just going to bleed models. It will help to pressure, though. Some major recon coming in. They just want to see what you got going on. Looks like recon of your own? No. Oh boy, this could be devastating. Yeah. Close air support at its finest. Point and click cheese, especially from this side of the map right here. Woo! Doesn't give you much time to react. Granted, as soon as you see the recon plane, if you're playing against close air support, you should probably move everything. So now that you know you don't have to deal with the priest, you can be a little more aggressive with your packs. You've got this game in hand, honestly, at this point. You should probably be getting LMGs on all your Grens. Maybe laying a few more tellers. I know you got one there. That's good. That's one thing you've done really well in the 2 games I've watched, is you've used tellers really well. Now you're doing a nice job pushing off this Jackson, exploiting his lack of infantry support here. Oh, he does actually have a few rifles, so. And that fighting position is still there. It's surprising. 2 P4s in a pack is easily enough to roll this whole side right now. Like, you could get aggressive with these P4s and the packs and definitely force him off the map here. Especially because his Jackson is overextending horribly. Your pack's already getting, he's already taken 1 shot. That's enough for you to push up with your other P4 to take that thing out. And now it's Vet 1, target weak point, and that thing's dead. You don't even need target weak point, you'll probably get it here. 1 more shot. Misses. 1 more shot's not gonna kill you. 1 more shot. Oh, you targeted the half track. See, he might get greedy here. Now's a spot where you can move up with your pack. And if he decides to chase, he runs right into it. Nope, and you live by just a sliver. That was pretty lucky. Still, you're at a huge advantage. P4 for Jackson. Meh. You almost got the Jackson. Oh, I guess you didn't get... Yeah, that's not a good trade, but, I mean... You're still not really hurting. That Puma's hurting, though. You better watch out. Pop smoke and gets out of there. I think a LEIG would probably be good from... Yeah, an LEIG would have been really good for him on this side. Nice job helping your ally out with a bit of close air support. Force and retreat like that is good. That's one nice thing about close air support is you can really just... You can have an impact on anywhere in the map. Yeah, with all these support weapons, I really highly recommend a half track. You can really just creep up with it and use those pioneers to spot. So now we got a Sherman on the field along with a Jackson. He's got enough fuel for another Sherman. So at this point, I think another Stug would be really good. Stugs trade really cost effectively with Jacksons, especially if supported well. If you can get one of these guys to overextend with target weak point, you can do a lot of work. So that's good. Suppress that rifle squad. Nice. Using that recon run, close air support combo to kill vehicles. Okay, you should probably, if you're going to push up this much with your infantry, you should be moving your pack up to support. And probably an MG as well. You've got that MG there, that's good. Yeah, this Sherman has nothing to deal with the Shreks and a P4. You can push up here at this point. Especially because you have a double vet pack, that thing's a monster. Like, I would just try and bait one of his vehicles into your pack and then target weak point and it's dead. You won't even have time to react. This ability here, so strong. I highly recommend putting it on a hotkey that's easy for you to find. Because it's probably the most important ability that you have. Every time you have Vet 1 and you have target weak point and you have an engagement with a tank, you should use it. It's only 30 munitions and it a lot of times will guarantee you a kill on a vehicle. It is so strong. I cannot understate just how good that ability is. And I see so many people forget to use it. You should always make that a priority. You guys have a stranglehold on him now. Your opponent's got, or your ally's got the Yak team. Let's just get a dead thing. Oh no. What did you just do? Oh, just got that thing. Yag Tiger one-shots the M8 Scott. It's pretty disgusting. I'm gonna speed through this. Got another MG bunker here. Not a bad. I like that location better than your first one. I think your first one was a little too forward. Target weak point. Yeah, let's go. Yak Tiger to save the day. Watch this thing one shot.
Delta 25 points. Blast the assault.
Gone. Got another target.
Target secure.
Gag Tiger's so nasty. So there you go. That was a good game. That was well played. Couple things to summarize. I think playing the middle here in this area will allow you to work with your teammate a lot closer than playing up here. If you do choose to play essentially two separate 1v1s, try and find a lull in the game where you can make a decisive engagement in this area to help out your ally and double team them before your opponents can react. And target weak point. That's probably the final thing I would say. Good use of tellers. They didn't really pay off this game, but they were. I mean, that's a good spot for it. Another good spot for it is like here, and obviously the obvious one. If you can push them off the map for a minute, lay one down here early in the game. If you're expecting a shock vehicle, that they're going to try and be aggressive with, a lot of times can pay big dividends. So, well played, and I hope you learned something from it. And yeah, we'll see you next time.